Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Jack's Man TV. I'm Ed Holgren. This morning, we're going to try a little of a early morning pipe. In the new legend. Let's go check it out. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. As I said, we are checking out the legend. This is a very, very handsome pipe. Still breaking it in a little bit, but I'm liking it. It's very, very lightweight. It's perfect for the morning, I think. What we are trying out this morning as well is Petersons Early Morning Pipe. And so my first impressions, it's actually quite nice. It is there's no casing, no flavor added. So obviously not an aromatic. But what I found, it does pair nicely with a cup of coffee in the morning. They're made for each other. It's the perfect complement. I still have to learn all my tobaccos and which tobacco is what and what tobacco offers what kind of flavor or pungency, if you will. And I've said this before, all the nuances of all the tobaccos and how they blend together, and so I'm trying to learn that and discern which is which. So I should probably do a little bit more reading so I could know, oh, that is the Virginia, that is the Oriental. So, but right now I am more focused on figuring all those out. I mean, how do they taste? Do they taste good? Is it a good smoke? So I'm enjoying this. You know, as far as the flavor on this early morning pipe, I would have to say it's got a bit of a kind of a sweet, sour tanginess to it. Not a real woody, burning flavor at all. Just a real smooth early morning smoke. And that's the other thing. I don't do a lot of smoking in the morning. So this is a pleasant change for me, and like I said, the perfect compliment. By the way, the wife's cup, mine says Mr. Right. Hers says Mrs. Always Right. So there you have it. I'm still breaking this in, but you like that? That's handsome, and I like it's very lightweight. Comparative to the Patriot, it's a little bit bulkier, it's a little bit heavier, and I like this stem better. I'm gonna have to change out the stem, I think, on the Patriot, because it's already got a few bite marks in it. Or this acrylic, it doesn't. But speaking of legends, I'm not a big consumer much of anything that Hollywood produces anymore. And why would I be? I've got YouTube and all pipe community, and it's just about everything I need. Just about. I was scrolling the other day and popped up Sergeant York, way back, the movie Gary Cooper, way back in released in 1941. So I watched, I don't know, about 10 minutes of it, and for a time, and I thought to myself, man, if somebody had any smarts to them in Hollywood, and they don't, but they could. They used to be something cool. Hollywood used to be something special, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a big fan anymore, but I thought to myself, man, if somebody had it together, they would remake Sergeant York, because that's all they do anymore. They don't come up with anything new. Everything's a remake. I thought with today's technology and all the stuff they can do, they could probably do a really, really good job. Then I thought to myself, well, Hollywood being what it is, they would mess this up, and it would not be the same. So what I did, instead of watching the whole movie, I decided I wanted to go more in depth. So I got Sergeant York's war diary, his actual diaries from his time in France in World War I. And it's just fascinating. It's just and he was a true hero. He was a true legend. When he came back from the war, so he was decorated. Every decoration you can name, I think, except for the Purple Heart, because I don't think he got wounded. I'm only halfway through the book, but it's just fascinating reading. But for his exploits, him and the seven other soldiers captured, I think it was 35 machine guns, a couple other things they captured, along with 132 soldiers, German soldiers. Now, Alvin C. York was not a pipe smoker. In his early days, he boozed it up, he gambled, he smoked. I don't know if he smoked, but he used tobacco. But sometime before the war, he found religion, and then you know, and got himself right with the Lord. And the thing was, he was not a professional soldier. He was drafted. So he didn't volunteer either. He was drafted, and he had some real misgivings about going over there, because he didn't hate the Germans. You know, he didn't want to hate anybody. And there was rumors around camp that he was a conscientious objector, and he kind of got a little bit of flack for that. But anyway, as the story goes, he prayed for a good solid 2 days and 2 nights. And the good Lord spoke to him and told him that he would be fine. And this is what he needs to do. So and then when he came home, you know, he came home to a ticker tape parade, never granted by just an ordinary private sergeant in the history of parades for wartime heroes. But he was a humble soul from Tennessee. As far as learning is concerned, I don't think he made it through his formal education through the 2nd grade, but obviously he got far greater education in some respects. And according to all accounts, he was one of the deadliest shots in all of Tennessee. But anyway, I'm still reading the book, and it's just fascinating, his whole story. And you know, and I'm a sucker for good history, especially American history, good, bad, whatever the history is. If it's done and told in a captivating way, I love it. I mean, like this book, I think should have been and should be, you know, required reading in high school. You know, and I wasn't the greatest student ever, but I probably would have read this if it was assigned to me in history class. And I took some history class, and I had this one history class. This old guy, you know, I'm 16, 17, whatever. I had this one history class where the teacher was just old, and he was boring. And it was back in Mesopotamia, and he was just concerned with dates and things like that, and really did not make history come alive for me. So on the 3rd day of class, I may have left class early, and I never went back to that class. But I'm not too smart, because I was well within time to drop this class, do it the official channels, and pick up another class. But no, I just didn't go back, and I gave myself a free period. And so I was still on record of being in the class, so I ended up getting an F out of that class. Brilliant. But anyway, I kind of know how the story ends, but hearing the story and reading the story, it's just fascinating. And they wanted to he was met with all kinds of he was met with all kinds of offers when he got home about books and movies and going around the country and just selling his story, selling his soul, basically. And he wanted nothing to do with that. He wanted to go back home, back to Tennessee, to his log cabin. But what he learned is there's a lot of good that can come from a good education. So he dedicated his life for getting the mountain folk some schooling. So that's basically what he did when he came home. He dedicated his life to that. That's funny. In a 19 well, see, the movie was released with Gary Cooper in 1941. So obviously production things started before that, and they finally convinced him to go ahead and do it, but it was only on strict instructions by Sergeant York. And this is funny, even back then, one of the conditions was that they cannot Hollywoodize his story. Got to tell it truth. Got to tell it by his diaries, and don't be wandering off that path. So that's awesome. And it's great too, because he wanted Gary Cooper to play him in the movie. So, and Gary Cooper, because this was 1941, 39-40. Gary Cooper at the time was a little bit older than what the Army wanted, and plus he also had a prior injury. So this was Gary Cooper's way of contributing to the war effort, because prior to 1941, patriotism and things like that, morale was pretty low across the United States as far as everything that I've read. And so this is his opportunity to join the war effort, contribute to the war effort. But obviously they conformed to Sergeant York's wishes, and they made a pretty good movie. And even in 1941, it's kind of fun to watch these old films, because it was 1941 production about 20-30 years prior. So it's really kind of fun to see how they did things, but then you get wrapped up in the story and you forget about the production value, which actually was pretty good back then. So that's I recommend anybody that's interested in American history, because this is a true American legend. And you want a good read, get a Sergeant York's Wartime Diaries. It's a great read. And in the book, it's great too, because they're a lot of the dialogue is written in, well, it's taken right out of his diary. So there's some the words are written the way Alvin York spoke them. So it's very authentic, and it puts you right there. So I'm enjoying it. I think you might too. So I'm gonna stir this up and tamp it a little bit. Need a few more smokes through this. It's lighting it more often than I'd want to. But I just thought it was kind of fun talking about my legend, talking about American legend. An early morning pipe, fresh cup of coffee. It's still summer, but change is coming. And I'm just really enjoying my morning. I'm really enjoying the smoke. It's nice, it's mellow. So if you guys got any thoughts on the early morning pipe, if I'm describing it with, if you feel the same way with that sweet, sour, tangy taste that I'm getting, let me know your thoughts. And really, I just love coming out here in the smoking lounge and talking to you all. This is just great. And more, I'm finding that the piping community, one of the best communities I've ever had the privilege of stepping into and joining. And I think this is just my own personal thought. More people, especially some of our people who think they're in charge, let's call them that, instead of knee-jerk reactions to every little thing that comes down the pike, whether it's social media or newspapers or global events, instead of everybody getting so hyped up and like say knee-jerk reaction and we need to do something, people should sit around with a pipe. Because it does allow you that time to think, whether you're with a group of people, whether you're by yourself contemplating. Sure can help a person contemplate and focus on solutions. There, we got a nice burn going. And this pipe too. I don't think I'm very good at it yet, but you can clench this. Walk around the yard. Enjoy your smoke. Enjoy your day. So let me know what you think. Have a great day, everyone. Be well.